Hey fellow Trek Chatters, I'm Pit Trekkie, and welcome to the Thanksgiving episode of Pittsburgh's Trek Chat. Sorry I've been away from the internet for the last couple of weeks. Some things came up with work, and I just wasn't able to get online. But now I'm back. I've got a special themed episode for today. I'm also continuing to work on finishing up the Star Trek Discovery episode so that I can have some reviews for all of you in the coming episodes. Thank you for those of you who have stayed and watched the show. I appreciate it. So Thanksgiving is just come and gone, and I was thinking about this time of the year. Obviously, we're all often thankful for our families, our friends, jobs, whatever. But I know as Star Trek fans, we're also very thankful for Star Trek being in our lives. And that's for every different fan, a different reason. Okay? So I thought it would be interesting for the Thanksgiving episode to talk about why are fans and thankful for Star Trek, it being in a part of their lives. So, first thing I've always thought of is that it's impacted people in their careers. If you have watched any of the documentaries, Trekkies or Trekkies 2, you hear a lot about the fans, why they went into certain careers. You also see it in the Star Trek 25th anniversary special with a lot of the scientists. So really, I think science was probably affected more because of Star Trek than anything. Fans became scientists, astronauts, because they saw what was being done on the Enterprise in the original series, and they took us and our imaginations on this wild adventure into the final frontier, and people wanted a piece of that. So that's why I think a lot of people went and became scientists or physicists, things of that nature. Also, Nichelle Nichols was very instrumental in the 1970s and beyond of trying to recruit women and other minorities for NASA, for astronauts. One of them in particular was Dr. Mae Jemison. She was the first African-American female to walk in space. And she said that the reason why she became an astronaut and a doctor is because of seeing Lieutenant Uhura on that bridge back in the 60s. That gave her a lot of hope. And so she actually had a cameo in a sixth season episode of The Next Generation. She played I think it was a not security chief, but transporter chief. And Nichelle Nichols actually visited her on set, which I'm sure was a very good experience for Dr. Jemison. But a lot of people became scientists, physicists, astronauts because of that love for the original series. The show gave them that love of space and exploration. Another thing is the medical field was affected by Star Trek. I think a lot of people are thankful to Star Trek because they saw Dr. McCoy with all these fancy little gadgets and being able to heal people. Same with Dr. Crusher with the dermal regenerators, or those lasers that they had that they could open and seal wounds very quickly. So a lot of people, because of that, saw those things and they saw that they wanted to be helpful to other people like Dr. McCoy, Dr. Crusher, the other doctors. And so I think that's why they went into the medical field as well. And then obviously people became engineers or gotten into some sort of technological field because of Star Trek. I mean, look at all the devices nowadays that were not available just a few short years ago, but were inspired by the original series. I mean, cell phones are definitely the communicators. We have those medical scanners behind us now, to take readings, things of that nature. Just the iPad now. Now, looking from The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine and all that, those pads look pretty big, and it's hard to believe that the pads that we have now were actually inspired from those. So to actually have little handheld computers in our hands now, I think we owe Star Trek a lot of thanks for that. So I think definitely the careers of people have been definitely impacted. I'm sure there have been other careers that have been impacted as well. I myself, I'm a social worker and I do therapy, and I do use a lot of Star Trek sayings, and I kind of use Counselor Troy as an inspiration. I even have her action figure on my desk at my office, so I'm thankful to her, kind of listening to her talk to the patients and how she reacted to the patients. I kind of take a little bit from that as well. Another reason I think people are fans are thankful for Star Trek is because it gave them a reason to live almost. If you watching Trekkies and Trekkies 2, they interview many different fans talking about what Star Trek has meant to them personally. A lot of the fans felt that they didn't fit in with anybody, but yet they could watch this futuristic TV show, with this crew that they didn't know personally, but felt that they kind of knew personally, and they never felt judged, they never felt ridiculed. Plus the fact that Star Trek is not judgmental in that time frame, it gave people a lot of hope that, we can be accepted by somebody. So I think that's why a lot of fans are very attached to Star Trek for that reason. There are also a couple stories too, like James Doohan actually in the original Trekkies talked about a fan that wrote him a suicide note, and she went to go see him at a convention, and then he didn't hear from her. And then eventually years later she sent him a note thanking him for his help, just talking to her, and that she was becoming an engineer because of Scotty. You know, and actually James Doohan said that moved him to tears. So there are other stories like that where a lot of Star Trek fans thought that they were at their wits' end and they wanted to kill themselves, but there was that Star Trek, there was something there that they related to that made them want to stay alive. So I think that's very important for a TV show, a TV franchise to actually have that kind of power. It's really amazing, you know. Also, a lot of kids said that they came from broken families, so they would watch the Star Trek shows and they would just kind of feel like that was their consistent family, that one consistency that never went away. So that's hit a lot of people as well. Now, I'd like to talk about why I'm thankful for Star Trek being in my life. I'm very thankful more than anything for the memories. Playing Star Trek with my brothers, with my friends, read all the books that I read, watching all the shows, being all hyped and excited for them, watching them with my family, going to the movies every 2 years whenever the movies would come out. That was like a big holiday at my house. So I'm very thankful to all the memories that it's given me. Another thing that I'm very thankful of is the fact that it took my imagination all over the place. Okay, I had a great life. I'm not going to sit here and say that my life was horrible in any way, shape, or form. But it was always nice to be able to go out there and kind of explore space with all the different Star Trek crews and feel like I was a part of it. This made me feel very special inside, and I'm glad that I had something that I really enjoyed in my life. Another thing that I'm thankful for Star Trek for is the friends that I've made. I don't have a lot of personal friends in my life that are Star Trek fans that I can really sit and talk to. But because of Pittsburgh's Trek Chat and just Facebook and the internet in general, I have been able to reach out to other Star Trek fans in this country and in other countries, and I've been able to start networking with other people. You know, and I even got some birthday wishes a few weeks ago from some of them as far as from the west coast of the United States. I mean, it was really something that really touched me. So that's another reason I'm thankful to Star Trek, is because of the friends and extended family that I have out there in the world because of it. So that's basically just a quick episode on why I'm thankful for Star Trek being in my life. Now I'd like to go on to the segment called Open Channel. Alright, so your open channel question for next time is, why are you thankful for Star Trek? Why are you thankful that Star Trek has been in your lives? Please go down to the comment section and please comment on that question. I would love to read the responses next time. So you can find my show on YouTube. Just go to my, you can just type in Pittsburgh's Trek Chat, or you can type in Pit Trekkie, that's my name, and it should come up. You can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/PGHTrekChat. You can also find me on Twitter at PGHTrekChat. I look forward to the next episode, and until then, may yins live long and prosper.